Since there's a Steam sale right now, I've been going through all the games and picking up some that might be interesting or curious for the channel, and I found one called The Last Hope. I also saw that it has a sequel, The Last Hope Trump versus Mafia, so it sounded amusing enough. I decided to give it a try, although I've been burned before. And as soon as I started the game, I already knew that I'm in for some shit. Now, The Last Hope only cost me 49 cents, and the second part was around €1.07 or so, so I paid $1.50 for this, and I thought it's not that big a deal. Let's make the video and see what it's about. One of the first things you will notice is that the game is obviously made by someone who has no idea of how to speak English. So this person's writing in broken English, which I actually found pretty entertaining at first, but then it started to bug me by the second game. Second problem I see with this first game, because I'm gonna address each game individually, is that the gameplay is essentially moving from A to B within a given time limit. That time limit is represented by 3 bars, hunger, thirst, and the third one was health. And the health is essentially when you literally collide with enemies. They don't shoot or anything, you just have to, they have to touch you. They disappear when they do, they basically clip through you and disappear. And if you are too hungry or too thirsty, your health is going to start degrading as well once the other two reach 0, one of them at least. So this is very annoying, and most of the time it's not that big a problem, but in the Russian level it was horrible because the Russian level was so atrociously long, but I'll get to that. Next point is that you have a lot of Unity assets obviously here, and these assets are just spread out randomly. You got a bunch of skeletons which are basically standing in a T shape and just flying around through the air and stuff. You got annoying sounds. They're supposed to be zombies. I never saw any zombies, but I heard them. Now, I bet that this guy actually just sat in front of a microphone and recorded them himself, because that's what it actually sounds like. Just listen to this. Crap. Now, the next point that I want to address is the fact that there is a story here and it's extremely idiotic, and obviously the story has been thought of as he goes, because he does contradict himself in several spots, especially in the second game. Not even gonna address it, it's just too dumb. The next point is that the game is way too dark at times, and there's no option to increase the brightness. You're just going to wander like I did. I even tried to check the files to see if there's any way to do it, but no, nothing. I found a lot of bugs in the game. I had to even restart the level several times because I clipped through a wall where I wasn't supposed to. I got stuck on a tree, stuck on just the mountain, stuck in general, just horrible. A lot of your enemies are going to be underground like dumbasses, above ground. It's just atrocious. Levels can be very confusing at times, especially the Russian level. Again, that's the worst level of them all. Not only because the bad frame rate, but because it's really dark and there are these lights and distance and stuff. It's confusing. I actually found myself going back to the start of the level unintentionally. It was horrible. The levels themselves are also very long. Then there are these cutscenes where absolutely nothing happens, which aren't real cinematics. You're just locked in a small room and you get to look through it, for example, or when you're in a plane, this is the other option, and both of them are atrocious. Both of them are horrible. They're way too long and you do nothing in them. Actually, in the plane, I actually thought I was piloting it at first, and I thought to myself, how is this thing being controlled? It's flying left, right. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything properly, but it always felt like in the last second I managed to get it out of the way, and it turned out that it's just kind of a cutscene. It didn't take me that long to notice it, but it did, and I feel a little bit ashamed of that. At some point, you get even a useless sword next to your useless shield, and the sword is just there to glitch out hardcore, so that's cool, you know, we got a glitching sword. Good sides of this game are that people on drugs might like some of the levels because of the extreme bloom and stuff. It might be trippy for them. And the best thing about this game is that beating it means that it's come to an end, so you don't have to deal with this. The second game, Trump versus Mafia, does not really involve Donald Trump or the Mafia. It's just clickbait in a way. Your protagonist is essentially a military guy, and the Mafia are all other military guys. And that's pretty much it. All in all, it's just a lie. Your avatar is not Trump, by the way. It's just some military guy again. They didn't even try to make an avatar. And I'm saying they, it's just one kid from Moldova, from what I understood. Your enemies will almost never miss. They have hit scatter weapons, and they basically will hit you every time they're supposed to. Just from time to time, I guess they're set up to miss. But this is, let's just say, 1 out of maybe like 15%, something like that, of the times they won't hit you. Every other time they'll hit you, and they'll hit you from very far away. This makes them very difficult to fight, and because there are so many glitches, you will get stuck, you get messed up all the time, you will fall through the map. It's just atrocious. And the enemies, of course, for them all the rules don't don't exist. They have limitless ammo. They go through all the environment, through trees, through houses, through everything, through cars. They can shoot you through everything. So it's just a test of endurance and just your desire to finally beat this game and get it over with. It's just horrible. I hated it. I hated this game so much, but I managed to beat it. And the worst part of it is that it has two endings, unlike the last one, and both of them are bad. One ending is offering you the option to essentially surrender to the Mafia, and the Mafia takes over the world, and the other one is to nuke the Mafia and kill them. And before that, you get messages like, you're a patriot, you should fight the Mafia and whatnot. And then if you select the ending where you nuke them, that's actually the worst of the two endings, and it's claimed that this ending is essentially gonna mean that you destroy the planet, you kill everyone, blah blah blah. It's just awful. If you take the first ending, which is bad, where you surrender, you're actually a hero suddenly. They even build a museum of you, and the Mafia takes over the world. It's crazy, and there are inconsistencies. I mean, look at me talking about inconsistencies of this idiotic story, but there are things like, they say now that you're the president of the world, there are no countries, but then you go to Moldova, which by the way is hilarious. This guy is from Moldova, so he writes that something in Moldova is very famous and stuff. I've never heard of it, but okay, could be that someone else has. Maybe someone from Moldova will be able to recognize the destination he describes. And it's just, the game is just awful in every way. Both of them are. This is essentially a great example of the type of games which just should not be on Steam. This is fraud to me. This is not a game. It's not even a beta game. It's not even an alpha for me. Yeah, you can theoretically finish it, but it shouldn't even qualify as a proper game. It's horrendous. I can show you games from the year 1986 which are more entertaining than this piece of shit. So what I'm trying to say is, I played these games so you don't have to, and I strongly advise you stay very far away from them and do not give this person any more money. I already did and I regret it. Thanks for watching.